It's Saturday, January 29th. And it looks like we may be in for some rain, maybe tomorrow. So, as I said, it is a gray morning. This was my my draw for the day. Actually, quite a lovely divinatory message having to do with home and harmony and all that. So, no complaints from me. Before I sit down and talk, I'm going to talk a little bit about creativity, or the lack thereof, this morning. But I wanted to show you, I'm almost done with piece 2 here. And I'll just lift it up this way. I just have to go a little bit further on this side with the knotting. But that is, let's see if I can turn it this way to show you. There's piece number 2 with the knots and everything. And I'm going to show you, don't do that. I'm going to show you finished piece number 1, which I have hanging in the closet here. Okay, there is piece number 1, complete, and that's the way it's going to hang. It's nicer when you see it up close, the photogramming and everything on it. But and I need to press it a little bit too. My husband said it's really nice, but it's got that wrinkle in it, so I will be doing that along with this one and the third one. Before I am ready to photograph them. So, good morning. This is my 85th YouTube orbit. There is the 86. I forget, that's terrible. I should look before I sit down to talk. So yes, I am making headway on the finishing of those pieces, which is a very good thing. But other than that, it's been sort of the winter doldrums. Although right now I kind of feel like there's a little bit of energy just underneath the surface. And this isn't isolated to me. I went with a friend yesterday and we spent a couple hours up in Tilden Park hiking around Jewel Lake and taking photographs. And he actually basically said the same thing that I was feeling, which was that creativity is just kind of flat right now. I'm taking pictures and I'm processing them, but they're not resonating with me. They're not hitting the mark that I'd like. I mean, every once in a while I find some, and I do have some to process now. I have 2 rolls from yesterday and then a couple rolls from when I went to the bulb, which had some stuff on them already. But in our conversation I think we both agreed that when in a creativity slump, sometimes you just have to go through the motions. It's almost like priming the pump a little bit. And he said that no matter what he tried to do, his compositions were off. He was not, happy with the photographs at all. So he decided to just embrace it and almost purposely try to take a poorly composition photo. Although I said, how do you try to do that? I don't even know how you try to do that. And something else that I thought of, and also doing whatever else you need to do. I mean, I think sometimes those creativity slumps are also a result of underlying depression. At least I know they are for me. And the winter is very, conducive to seasonal affective disorder and just, cabin fever and all that kind of stuff. So to me, it's kind of the natural rhythm for me that there isn't a lot of like really dynamic creative processes at this time of year. It's more like thinking about ideas, maybe writing them down, and nurturing oneself through the winter, because the winter can be a very difficult time to get through. And all that being said, I do find that there are sometimes some interesting ways to spark creativity that don't even, I mean, you might not even think of it this way. For me, rather than looking at art books or, you know, other photographers' works or reading about art, sometimes what actually sparks the creativity for me are things like cooking, reading books about cooking, working on the house, because that's sort of where my artwork springs from, is the home, and that my relationship to home, the home as in what is within myself. So recently I pulled out a DVD that I hadn't watched for some time called How to Cook Your Life. And it is a sort of a little documentary about Edward S.B. Brown, who is a Zen priest. He studied under Suzuki Roshi at, I believe, the San Francisco Zen Center. And he learned to bake with the bakers and cooks at the Tassajara retreat. And he's written a number of cookbooks now. And this book was, the DVD, is sort of about the spiritual, contemplative nature of cooking and food preparation, and how it goes deeper than just, you know, throwing some stuff together and, you know, stuffing it in your mouth and, you know, gaining the calories. It's about the spirit of food and the spirit that underlies the preparation and the serving and the mindfulness. So that was actually really inspiring. I mean, to me, sometimes watching something like that actually inspires me creatively. And also I found somebody else's, I found a channel on YouTube, and while not everything this person says resonates with me, she has a spirit about her, and her surroundings, her home, you know, her gardens are just so full of life and full of warmth that watching something like that inspires me, not only with my home, but with my artistic pursuits. So those are just some ideas. If anyone else, I mean, I know it's not me. Like I said, I was going with my friend yesterday, and we both commiserated on this just creative slump that's happening right now. But I personally think it's cyclical in nature, and I think it's probably pretty natural. And so for me, it's like not to have grand expectations, maybe work on pieces that are already complete as far as the artwork itself, and do the finishing work, you know, organizing, reorganizing. I know when I built my flat file and all that, it was really helpful with feeling that. And sometimes even when you feel the energy movement, you feel that creative spark starting to, you know, burn a little bit brighter. It doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily produce anything. I should say me, because I know it's different for everybody, but it's, you know, I'm not going to necessarily be creating these grand pieces of artwork, but it's more about keeping that energy going and seeing what comes, what bubbles to the surface. And then sometimes you'll just have a spark where it's like, for me, so I'll just pick up the camera, I'll pick up the Polaroid, or I'll pick up the pinhole. I can't do a lot of cyanotypes right now because of the weather. Well, I could have had a UV box, but I prefer to use the sun. So, yeah, sometimes it's just doing the little things to get you through the doldrums. So anyhow, that's it for this Saturday morning. Probably going to run around and do some errands later. Tokyo fish for salmon, perhaps. I did want to go to the farmer's market and get some strawberries too. So, but anyway, I hope you're all doing well today and having a good weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.